There's high increase in the rate of people, the way people are not getting admission. Yes, there is. But we don't know that there are so many factors attached to getting admission. For example, now you might get a score of 380, or you apply for a school like Unizik or Unibadan to study medicine and surgery. You see it as a good score to get that course, but you're not going to get admitted. One, because there are high numbers of people applying to that university to study that same course. So that university is going to consider the first, for example, they have a quota of 50, the first 50 persons with the highest cut-off mark. And we have other factors like indigent shape and in low catchment area. So if you have a high JAMB score, or like 280 and something like that, even if your university cut-off mark for medicine is 280, my dear, let me tell you, it's just the cut-off mark. Cut-off mark means people they will consider, but people that will give admission is people that topped. For example, you might have someone that score 10% that score 350, 20% that score 320 to 350, and 10% that score 300 to 320, and they're person like 40 before they consider indigene and catchment area. So I would advise you, if you have a high JAMB score and you know that the school you are applying for has very high applicants, is that you switch to a different school or you change your course. Most people don't know this, and they'll be saying, I reached the cut-off mark and I wasn't given admission. But there are so many factors attached to getting admitted. This is why when you're applying for a competitive course, it is better you try hard to get a higher JAMB score, higher post-term score, higher WAEC results, because some schools use WAEC results and JAMB. So secondly, I would want you to be attached to the school news. When you're applying for Uniben, they go to Facebook, go to anywhere, WhatsApp, join their group, because most students don't get admission because of lack of information. Your school is that side post-term form, you don't know how. Like I remember when I applied for JAMB, like the year I was in my SS3, I just wrote JAMB, wrote post-term and relaxed. I checked my JAMB caps once and I stopped checking it. And I still not admitted after they released merit admission, and I was admitted. I stopped opening it. But we don't know that they release more lists as time goes on. So join your Facebook, your school Facebook group. It might not be an official group, but join the aspirant groups. Join groups. Information is power. Information is power. You need to get information because you're not in the school. There's so many people in there at 200 level, 300 level that know what's going on. So join groups and stay updated. You can even have a friend from all these groups. So that days that you're not online, if there's something urgent to do, you can do it. Next, I also want to add that you apply for a university that is within your state or that your state has them as catchment area. Most especially when you have a low JAMB score, because catchment area they do admit people with lower JAMB scores. Yes. So one thing that people have more advantage at is indigenship and catchment area. So if you want to get admission, you know that your JAMB score it might be high, but due to the traffic, your JAMB score is low. Go to a university that is within your catchment area. The fact that this university is popular, that does not mean that they have the best quality educations. Most especially federal universities. There are so many federal universities that are living based on past glories. So make sure you get your facts right. Make sure you get your research. You make research. If, for example, you are an Igbo person, go to a university that is within the East. I'm not saying it's compulsory. I'm just saying these are points that could help you gain admission rather than staying at home. If you're from the north, go to university that is within the north. If you're from the state, just make sure you make your research. You don't want to stay at home. So make sure you make research. Make research. And I want to add, please stay attached to your JAMB caps. So many persons like me, we will check our JAMB caps once and choose not to check it again. Keep refreshing your JAMB caps. Most especially when your school has released merit admission. Keep refreshing your JAMB caps. Keep checking every day. Do not give up. do not give up. And if you have gotten to a point where you know that they have something like supplementary and they ask you to change your course if you want to get admission, or some schools they ask for transfer approval, most people will be contemplating whether they should accept the transfer approval or just wait and write another JAMB. But I want to say something. If you know you're not going to this course, like the course you want to study is like your dream, you have passion for it, you have talent for it, you have handwork for it, is that you switch to a different university or you accept the course they gave you, or you go for pre-JUPE, you go for JUPEP. You can still accept the course they gave you and still write another JAMB or request for transfer. I know transfer can be so hectic. You have to get a high GP, very high GP, before they can transfer you. So you need to think this through very well. Okay, there's something we don't know. You see this cutoff mark of a thing? It's based on the surge on that particular course. So if this particular course have like up to 300 people applying for it, they are going to increase the cutoff mark. Yes. Once there are so many people applying for it, they're going to increase the cutoff mark. Think petroleum engineering and chemical engineering, for example. You know, chemical engineering, it's kind of like petroleum engineering, but it's different. It involves products, plants, something like that. But a chemical engineer can work in a petroleum plant. But petroleum engineering now can have a cutoff mark of 75. Okay, let's say JAMB cutoff mark of 300. Because plenty of people or so many persons are applying for it, because definitely in Nigeria has crude oil, so many people are applying for petroleum engineering. But chemical engineering can have a cutoff mark of 250. Yes, because so many persons are not involved in it. They feel like it's just chemical. It's not. But chemical engineering, well, I don't know, to me, but looking at their courses, I feel like chemical engineering is more broad than petroleum engineering. But due to the fact that more people apply for petroleum engineering, the cutoff mark is high than chemical engineering. So that is how JAMB works. That is how cutoff mark works. Even in a school, for example, you're applying for Unipen, Futo, UNN. If your school have increase in number of applicants, they're going to increase their cutoff mark and they're going to admit lesser. They might be admitting their normal quota of students, but you will see it as lesser because there are more persons that applied. For example, last year they might have admitted 4,000 students and they had like 8,000 applicants. But this year they will admit, for example, they have like 12,000 or 15,000 applicants and they admit 5,000 students. You will feel like the school didn't admit much, but actually they did. But due to the fact that there's high applicants, you will not see that school actually admit more than what they did last year. So what's called JAMB. When you get 220 and you're applying for medicine, how? Because it's like engineering, medicine, law, computer science, cybersecurity, these courses have high traffic. So if you want to get admission, you need to be smart. It is not about high JAMB score, best O level and good positivity. You need to put all this in order, all these practices in order to be able to get admission. So, and you know, this JAMB now is taking a new turn. With the present deadline for admission of students, every school are rushing their admission. JAMB gave this year, they gave universities October 31st and Polytechnic and School of Nursing November 31st. So most schools are rushing their admission. So my advice to you is that if you're still here, you wrote JAMB 2025 and you have not gotten admission, it is either you switch to another school or change your course or go to a polytechnic. I've stayed at home for like 4 years. Yes, 4 years. 3, no, more than that, like up to 7 years. Yes, I agree that I learned so many things staying at home. I was working and doing other things. But if I want to give you an advice, I want to say if you're young or you're like 16 years above JAMB cutoff age, I would advise you to go for a different program. You can go for JUPEP, you can go for iJAMB, you can apply for Polytechnic. Something that will make you not stay at home. Staying at home might help you if you're applying for a job, but if you're not applying for a job, you're just at home doing nothing. It will drain you. It will drain you. So try to incorporate other things, but do not stay at home. So these are like little information I have to share with you. When I have more, I will. And I beg you, please do not fumble your JAMB score. So see you in my next video. Bye.